Hello everyone, this is Jamal Thomas and welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So I don't typically do stories on the weekend, but today was somewhat of a special occasion. Only because there was news that was released early this morning. So if you remember, I think it was last week, Trump issued a grossly unconstitutional travel ban. That travel ban was halted with multiple injunctions filed across the United States. Now, even though those injunctions were filed, the border security agents continue to still ship people out of the country, still revoke green cards. What I would make the case is literally a constitutional crisis. You have a judge that says, no, stop, this needs to be reviewed. And you have the administration saying, whatever. And they just keep going. So a federal judge, Judge Robart, essentially laid this ruling down saying, yeah, no, this is not going to go forward. And at the end of the day, we need to review the constitutionality of this particular policy. Because, as he said, I don't think it's constitutional. Now, the person who was in the Justice Department, the person who was responsible for defending the government policy in court, was a holdover from the Obama administration. Now, she was just there until Sessions get put into office. But she essentially said, look, I'm not defending this ghastly ruling, or I'm not defending this ghastly policy. Not only do I not believe it's my job, I do not believe it's constitutional. So of course, she was sacked, and they put in a yes man. So that yes man filed an appeal. So this is from The Guardian. The U.S. Appeals Court has denied the Justice Department's request for an immediate reinstatement of Donald Trump's controversial travel ban. The Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in San Francisco made the ruling early on Sunday morning and asked those challenging the ban to respond to the appeal filed by the Trump administration late on Saturday night, and the Justice Department to file a counter-response by Monday afternoon. Now, this is pretty, I would make the case that it's kind of standard, right? You're doing something that's grossly over the top, just blows the precedent out the water for modern presidents. And the court said, whoa, dude, we got to talk about this. Another court was like, nope, this is national security, we need to do something about it. The next court says, no, we need to talk about this. The problem is, no American has been killed from the countries that he issued the ban on. So there hasn't been any refugees from these countries that has harmed or injured an American. So it makes it look weirder that you're going to create a ban and then claim national security. Security in what sense? Who are you securing us from? From the people that didn't hurt us? The refugees that hasn't hurt any Americans when they've come over here? It's absolutely ridiculous. What this boils down to is he has a racist in the White House, Bannon. And they want to brand themselves as alt-right and everything else. Call it what it is. At the end of the day, these policies have nothing to do with safety. These policies have nothing to do with national security. It's either one of two things. Either Trump is that fearful and that reactive, where he legitimately believes that he needs to do this, or he's that craven that when he was crowd surfing during his election cycle, during the primaries, and during the general election, and he was saying, I'm going to ban Muslims, I'm going to ban Muslims. To some degree, he could have been crowd surfing because he looked at it and said, well, this is my audience. I'm playing to my base. Because keep in mind, many of the people in that base are pretty xenophobic. When Mitt Romney was running, remember how Mitt Romney was supposed to be this moderate Republican? Romney was saying stuff like self-deportation, and he became this hawkish right-winger. He didn't have a choice. If he wanted to get through the primaries, he had to play that role. Now, Trump is different in this regard because he was so over the top. But is it possible that Trump understood what his base wanted to hear and told his base exactly what he needed to hear, and out of political expedience was willing to ruin other people's lives to say, look, I did my campaign promise, I kept my promise? It could be some combination of both. It's hard to know what's in his head. Certainly, this has nothing to do with evidence. It has nothing to do with, things that's actually happened. This was some policy that just stunk up. So the Justice Department responded. The Justice Department filing said Robart's Robarts' ruling posed an immediate harm to the public, thwarted enforcement of an executive order, and second guesses the president's national security judgment about the quantum of risk posed by the admission of certain classes of non-citizens and the best means of minimizing that risk. Shouldn't you at least have to show how you were harmed by that? I mean, when the bare minimum, before you get to the point of rejecting hundreds of thousands of visas, not to mention even green cards, people who weren't necessarily from those Muslim countries but maybe had like a split citizenship. Before you take that massive step, shouldn't you at least make the case that show how you were materially harmed by people from that country? The only thing I could see is we've been bombing those countries to hell for the past X number of years. I fundamentally miss how the refugees are the terrorists. We've had a state-sanctioned campaign to use flying killer robots to kill a large number of people, some of which our government has classified as terrorists, but a lot of which were completely innocent. So earlier Saturday, Trump criticized Robart on Twitter, writing, "The opinion of this so-called judge, which essentially takes law enforcement away from the country, is ridiculous and will be overturned." Not so much. Not so much. Not so much. Look, I'm going to make a prediction. This is not going to be overturned. This is not going to be struck down. Trump is just going to have a sad day for him. And this is kind of embarrassing. And Trump, he's not a so-called judge. He's a judge. Clearly, he has power of the position because he was able to shut your dumbass order down. The Department of Homeland Security has come out and said that they're going to essentially rescind the ban until this stuff is resolved. So yeah, you lost, at least for the short term. But again, I make the case, in the long term, he's going to lose on this. There's no way a judge is going to... Look, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before on all sorts of things. I just have a hard time believing that a judge is going to come in and say, yep, we're going to exclude all these people from all of these countries, even though we can't show any material harm to American citizens. Then why are you doing it? You can't make the case of national security if none of the people has harmed anybody or made anybody less secure. Now, just for one side note, and I'll close on this point. Liberals, Democrats, I understand the angst and the frustration associated with Trump being in office. I understand how grotesque he is and everything else. But you guys need to kind of have a come to Jesus moment that as bad and as gross as he is, the previous administrations were nearly as bad. I mean, I understand you guys are really angry about, him banning people from coming into this country. But I didn't hear any of these people complaining when Obama was drone striking these places, left and right, killing thousands of civilians. It's okay to kill the civilians, but don't you dare not let them come to this country after you do it. And this is not me saying don't protest. This is not me saying don't be angry or upset with what's taking place. You should be bothered by injustice or unfairness. What I'm asking for is balance in the way you see Democrats and Republicans, and not necessarily focus just so much on people or individuals. Focus on what these guys are doing in that office, whether it's Obama, whether it's Clinton, whether it's Bush, or whether it's Donald Trump. Because I think if you take a close look, you will see a similarity of a thread going all through those administrations. You can't reflexively get angry at Trump and then turn around and be okay with Obama doing the same thing. And look, I don't mean Obama did this. People have been making this case that Obama had his own travel ban. Obama did not have a travel ban. I've heard Jimmy Dore says it. He's absolutely wrong. It wasn't a travel ban. It was far more thoughtful than just a blanket, yeah, we're going to block Muslims from these 7 countries. And nobody know what the hell the policy is, and nobody know what the hell is going on. That is a far cry for what Obama did. And look, this is not me being reflexively protecting Obama. Anybody can look at my channel, and I've been very aggressive in my criticism of Obama. But that particular criticism is not fair. It's detached from reality. Look, my point is, if you're going to evaluate honestly, morally concise or consistent, you do have to look at what these guys are doing, not necessarily just their tone. Sometimes I think we mistaken tone in politics for moderation. Like, because the guy is not cursing and belittling people, that his policies are somehow drastically different than the guy that came before him. So look, at the end of the day, this is good news. The judge struck it down. Hopefully this will stay struck down. This is going to be a clown show for the next few months of litigation and everything else. But I hope at the end of it, this is his first loss. And I prefer him continuously lose. So, this is a good day. Alright guys, thank you.